All right, good afternoon. It is 3 p.m. and it's time for our final product demonstration. My name is Mike Murphy with Pecora Corporation, the Technical Service Group. I got two other members of the team here, Mike and Glenn. We're going to be demonstrating our silicone pavement joint sealants. So like I said, it's the third demo of the day. If you're familiar with Pecora, we've been around a very long time, over 160 years. Our bread and butter for many years has been joint sealants, right? So we offer urethane joint sealants, silicone sealants, latex sealants, epoxy, polysulfide, butyl. We basically cover all the chemistries, right? From glazing sealants, architectural sealants, traffic grade sealants, security grade sealants, fire rated sealants. We really cover the whole gambit of elastomeric joint sealants. So with that being said, we're at the World of Concrete, so of course we're going to focus on sealants for concrete. And what we're going to be talking about is our line of silicone pavement sealants, specifically our 322FC, which is a fast cure silicone-based pavement sealant. It's an elastomeric joint sealant for expansion joints in asphalt and concrete. So this material is primarily used on parking lots and highways, right? So this material, as well as the 300SL and 301NS, is approved for the majority of the states for DOT work. If you're familiar with the DOTs and done work associated with them, you know that there is a process to get your products approved for any DOT work. Some states are more stringent than others. For example, TxDOT, you got to get third-party testing, you got to get testing through their facility and so forth. So you got to jump through some hoops to get your products approved. But once you do, there's a lot of opportunity there with the DOT work. So with that being said, one of the more popular products for DOT work is our 300SL as well as our 322FC. So this is a two-component, rapid curing, self-leveling, silicone-based joint sealant, right? So you're going to get all those benefits of the silicone technology, excellent weatherability, UV resistance and so forth, excellent flexibility at low temperatures, and all the benefits associated with silicone. Similar with the 300SL and 301NS, these products are simply single component versions, right? So this is a two component in the sausage, it's part A, part B. We'll go ahead and demonstrate that, how to use the material. But we also have single component versions in our 300SL, SL meaning self-leveling, single component silicone pavement sealant in a 30-ounce cartridge, okay? And as well as our 301NS, which is really just a sister product to the 300SL. This is a non-sag version, meaning you could use it on vertical applications if necessary, but you have a self-leveling and a non-sag formula. So once fully cured, all of these sealants are going to be class 100, meaning they can withstand 100% movement in extension, 50% in compression. Really, that's the best you can get with regards to elastomeric joint sealants, and the reason why these sealants are preferred for DOT work. As you can imagine, doing any type of DOT work requires shutting down a highway. So, there's a lot that goes into that, of course. So you're going to want a sealant that's going to last. You're not going to be wanting replacing these sealants annually. It's too much work, right, and too much cost for your state. So you want a long-lasting, durable sealant. So most of the time, it's going to be these silicone pavement sealants that are used for DOT work. All right, so with all that being said, we have our 322FC. This is a two-component silicone sealant. You have part B, and you have part A. It's 1-to-1 by volume. This is also offered in pails. If you want to extrude it through pumps, you can do drums, you can do pails. But for demonstration purposes, we're going to show you how to use the sausages. So these are 20-ounce sausages, and it's 1-to-1 by volume. So Glenn here has a pneumatic 1-to-1 sausage gun here. So this is by our friends at Albion. All right, so I'm going to give the sausage to Glenn. He's going to go ahead and load the cylinders. So as you see, it's specific to the 20-ounce sausages. So you load part A and part B. Of course, this gun is pneumatic, so we have a compressor here. So you can go ahead and cut the ends. Pretty straightforward process. You're going to put the manifold over the sausages, lock it in place, and then for mixing, how the materials mix is through a static mixing nozzle, right? There's elements in here, and as the materials pump through, it's passing through the elements and mixing, right? So this static mixing nozzle is a specified length, specified amount of elements in order to give you a uniform mix of the material. So Glenn's going to go ahead and thread that nozzle on. Just keep in mind these are reusable. There is about a 20-minute work life with this material, so if you're going to be down for longer than 20-30 minutes, you may have to switch out to a new nozzle. These nozzles, they're fairly inexpensive comparatively. So, all right, so we got the gun set up. Again, this is pneumatic, so of course you're going to need air. But once you got it loaded, it's pretty straightforward. You're basically just going to depress the trigger, and it's going to extrude both part A and part B through the static mixing nozzle. No purging necessary, and Glenn's just going to go ahead and fill the joints. So we have a closed cell backer rod in these joints. Of course, these joints are simulating expansion joints in concrete. These joints are approximately an inch wide or so we're going to go about a 1/2 inch depth, give or take. So you're going to want to use a foam cylindrical backer rod. We prefer to see closed cell backer rod for traffic joints. Closed cell backer rod will not absorb moisture or water, say if it rains after you install the backer rod. So that's it, pretty straightforward. That's the 322FC. If we have any volunteers want to come up and shoot some of the material, we have some Yeti giveaways. But again, this is the 322FC. So Pecora has, again, a full line of silicone pavement sealants. So if you have some DOT work or any type of traffic sealant work where your spec's requiring a silicone-based pavement sealant, we're most likely going to be in the spec, and it's going to be one of these three products, the 300SL, the 301NS, or potentially the 322FC. So again, the benefit of 322FC is a fast cure. It can be open to traffic after a few hours. The joint sealant's going to be slightly recessed. You can see Glenn didn't fill it all the way to the top. You're going to want to recess that sealant. That's the thing with silicone pavement sealants. They need to be recessed. You don't want to install them flush with the traffic surface, because in order to get that flexibility and that class 100 movement, the materials have a low modulus. They're softer and flexible. You can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't have a hard, durable sealant and enhanced flexibility. So you must sacrifice one for the other. So with that being said, in order to protect the sealant from car tires, it's recessed from the traffic surface. So for a 1 inch wide joint, you're going to want to recess about a 1/4 inch. All that information's on the product data sheets. So it is a self-leveling material. So you notice there's no tooling required. If this was a non-sag, that traditional high viscosity caulking material, once you extrude the sealant, you're going to have to get on your hands and knees and tool it with a caulking knife. Not the case with the self-leveling sealants. That's why these are preferred when you're doing miles and miles of either runways or highways. They're using these self-leveling sealants because there's no tooling required. You fill the joint, the sealant flows into the joint and self-levels, and that's it. You can walk away. So speaking of that, I mentioned runways. These materials are also jet fuel, jet blast resistant, so they are approved for use on runways, whether it's an Air Force base or a commercial runway. So keep these products in mind for that use as well. So again, this is the Pecora line of silicone pavement sealants, the 322FC, 2-component fast cure. We have our 300SL, single component self-leveling, and our 301NS, non-sag silicone pavement sealant. So if you need any more information, please stop by the booth. You can pick our brains. We can talk about any other products that Pecora offers. I thank you for your time.